Hello and welcome to another Collegiate StarCraft League show match against AnEmortalKid, a gold level random player, and Aeisgar, a silver level random player. And I am Menasor, a platinum level Zerg player from Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I'm joined by
Theory SC2, I'm from Georgia Tech.
OMG LOL. What's Georgia Tech like?
It's kind of hard. It's a nice school, but I don't want to talk about this stuff.
Oh, no worries. But spawning in the bottom left-hand position, that blue Protoss player, his name is Aeisgar.
In the top right, we have the pink Zerg for I need to check the schools. For Albuquerque and AnEmortalKid.
Awesome. So, what race do you play?
I play Protoss.
Awesome. So, in the ZVP matchup, what pisses you off?
Well, Stormhost pissed me off the most. But we'll see if those come into play. This map has a lot of openings for early timings from Protoss players because of all the chokes, and the rush distances aren't very far apart.
No,
we'll see what they like to open.
I definitely agree. The Protoss is favored on this map. As Zerg, I can't take a good third. There's just no good third on this map. I can take this one that's sort of a more forward, maybe even an aggressive position, which you can hold, but that choke with the rocks right there, I absolutely hate it, and then taking that other third just isn't good for me either. There's just a lot of Protoss 2-base timings and even 1-base timings that just catch me off guard with my third.
Yeah, Gateway Expand is really popular on this map because of that. Zergs can't take a third very easily, especially if there's some kind of 3 or 4 gate Zealot aggression. And it looks like the Zerg is going to be opening up with a gas pool before expanding, so he's opting for that early speed, where the Protoss did not get a forge. He got a gateway in his natural, so we have 2 unorthodox build orders going on right now.
Absolutely, and I love the placement of this gateway and this pylon. It really adds for a wall later. There's a lot of foresight involved with this.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. It could be a little bit weak to some speedling timings, but it doesn't look like AnEmortalKid's starting. Yes. I say that he is starting some lings, so he might be able to harass this wall a bit before it finishes.
He definitely will be able to, and the Protoss is getting his first gas right now. I'm not necessarily sure what, but getting an extra gateway and cybercore.
This is really interesting. No expansion from Protoss. This isn't standard. No expansion from the Zerg either. So both players are doing very interesting 1-base styles, and keep in mind this is the first part of the game where they know each other's races. They're both random players, so this drone is the first information that each other have. And there's no units for the Protoss, so he's going to be in a lot of trouble from these Zerglings.
Yeah, these 6 slings are going to be able to just stop the power on this gateway. And I mean, there's 2 more gateways coming in, but Warp Gate's not even being researched, and this is definitely going to go down before this Zealot can even get done. And we have random
Zergling speed on the way.
Do you see these 2 random probes moving across the map?
Yeah, they've been scouting really hard. I feel like he needed to scout his opponent's race rather than for proxies.
Oh no, for sure. But now AnEmortalKid is in the main base of our friend Aeisgar, and there's really nothing he can do about it. He's going to be able to take out these pylons as these come up. I think it's GG, unfortunately.
Both gateways are empowered, and there's no unit production for Aeisgar.
But he does pick up those lings. Probes are... and a proxy hatch coming at. Ooh. Such BM. Wow. And opted to get cannons instead of trying to get his gateways back together. But, I mean, when you have probes against, slowlings, not speedlings, because you can work down the shields.
Yeah, and all his probes are going to die now. He's going to fight these lings, but the damage has been done.
Just too far behind now, and where's the money at? So AnEmortalKid, he's spending his money already, supply block at the moment. Aeisgar has a lot of supply to fill up, but doesn't look like he's going to be doing that much. But that proxy hatch is nearly up.
I wonder what he's going to do with this proxy hatch. Is he going to build spines at it, or just make more units with it? What's its main purpose? This way creep his opponent's base.
I think it's more or less to hurt feelings. Oh, underpowered.
And so many units of Aeisgar have... He's gotten out units, but they've died one by one, and AnEmortalKid just keeps reinforcing these Zerglings.
and not even thinking to take a natural, but getting that spine crawler, thinking that maybe there might be a proxy pylon, but little does he know that warp gate has not been researched.
Yeah, Aeisgar does have a probe on the map, but has warp gate even started?
Warp gate has not even started. There is one cannon defending this, and he's trying to put down some more cannons, but he stopped probe production.
Yeah, this game should be over. Aeisgar can keep building cannons and defenses, but they're not going to defend forever. They will eventually fall. If you can't get out some kind of mobile army, there's just no hope. And here goes spines and more Zerglings, and there's the GG from Aeisgar.
And AnEmortalKid takes this game number 1. What I like about casting people of lower levels is the games are unorthodox. You can't even tell like what's happening, and then it just kind of happens, and it's like this. It can either be this beautiful mistake or just a mistake where you'd want your 6 minutes back. You know?
Yeah, that was pretty interesting. Both players, they were both random, and they both did very unique builds. And I feel like AnEmortalKid got the advantage. Just he chose to get quick Zerglings, and Aeisgar took a risk by building his gateway downhill, and due to the races that were randomed, he was at a major disadvantage.
Yeah, for sure. I wonder if he would have put the gateway, well, just at a more standard gateway cyber safe opening and getting out that mothership core. And I don't necessarily know if he does. I've never seen him actually make one as long as I've known that gentleman.
Yeah, if he built his gateway in his main, his pylon probably wouldn't have fall. He could have pulled probes to defend it, and he would have been able to get zealots out and continue a normal game. In fact, versus a Zerg who doesn't expand before gas, gateway in the main puts you at a huge advantage.
Against Protoss in my league, I usually 9-pool, but it's an economic 9-pool to where I get my expansion and my queen and keep droning and keep those 6-lings alive to hopefully stop mining time or cause the Protoss to slow down so I can just get mutas and it's over. But
that's the scariest kind of Zerg to play against. One that will 9-pool into macro. That's pretty terrifying. That's
my favorite. It's my favorite thing. I think it's the only way to play Zerg. As if you think of the Zerg race as like a musical instrument, I believe it's the best song you can play.
Yeah, in some cases.
I mean,
think
there
it's
are
also map dependent.
That and build order wins in general.
Yeah.
But I always find in the lower leagues, I get proxy gated a lot. I get cannon rushed a lot, and the 9-pool is just the build order win against that. So.
Yeah, I see what you mean. And if your mechanics are better, you can win even if they build order counter you if you go 9-pool, and you're safe for every cheese. I think 9-pool is extremely good versus Forge expands because it forces them to make a complete wall and actually puts the pros behind.
Mm-hmm. I don't see many Forge expands anymore, to be honest with you. Like even in my leagues, I don't see it.
I only Forge expand.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Is that how you get to Grandmaster?
I guess so, because I don't gateway expand. I like to play like minigun.
Okay. Yeah, he's a cutie. I like his plays.
Me too.
And let's go ahead and get into this game number 2.
Oh.
No, it's cool, man. It's cool. You can chill on that replay. It's a good place to hang out.
I liked that game.
It was fun, right? Awesome. And now into game number 2. Again, against AnEmortalKid and Aeisgar for the UNM CSL internal tournament. Both random players, and this is a 4-player map. This is going to be kind of hard. Scouting is going to be super important in the beginning, don't you think?
Yeah, 4-player maps, and they're random again, right?
Oh, of course.
So this time it's going to be a Protoss versus Protoss, and in Protoss versus Protoss, scouting is very important. Considering out of all 9 matchups, it's probably the one that's closest to rock, paper, scissors.
Oh, that's what it's basically a coin flip. Well, I mean, PVT kind of used to be for a second, and then it stopped. But again, I don't really know what that means because I'm a lower league player. But
well, in PvP, there's 3 tech paths you can choose past Cybernetic Score, and generally speaking, they don't outright beat one another. But if you are to go Twilight Council, you have an advantage versus Stargate, and if you go Stargate, advantage versus Robo, and Robo, you have an advantage versus Twilight Council. And that doesn't set you an outright victory, but it gives you map control and advantage over the one you're up against. And there's a few other builds that go into PvP, like Gateway Rushes will beat Stargate as well, DTs will beat Blink Twilight as well, Phoenix will beat Robo and Stargate if they go Oracle. There's like a lot of right versus this matchup, and if the player plays safe and goes Stalker Marship Core before making his tech, then it's almost impossible to scout.
Wow, that was really eloquently put. I just usually say there's going to be Stalkers and Immortals, and if someone makes a DT first and doesn't have an Observer or an Oracle, he's just screwed.
Whoa, and Aeisgar in random versus random decides to take a Nexus first.
Not too smart. Well, the first person that really expands in PvP without being really safe is dead.
Did you watch GSL last night?
No, I did not. How was it?
Well, or 2 nights ago. Sauce versus Zest. Sauce on this map, 15 Nexus versus Zest in PvP. It got scouted immediately. First place he scouted, it got scouted, so he lost. But it does happen occasionally.
Wow.
He does need more workers though if he wants. I feel like if he's going to get an expansion this fast, there's not much of a reason for it if you're not going to have the workers to fill it up.
No, absolutely. Being able to commit into an economic build, but fully commit, because you can't just spend the money on the Nexus and then make a bunch of gateways and try to do some pressure. That just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and AnEmortalKid actually has a much better economy than Aeisgar, and it will actually take a while for Aeisgar to catch up since he cut at 11 probes and got his Nexus and his gateway. And will AnEmortalKid start Warpgate right away? If he crows Warpgate out, and he is, I don't know if Aeisgar will be able to get out the means to hold this.
No, unfortunately. It looks like Protoss is not his better random race.
Yeah, I don't know if that's necessarily the thing. Maybe it's just he took a huge risk. He didn't know it was Protoss. I still don't even know if he knows it's Protoss versus Protoss. I guess he saw the probe, but until that, he just took a risk. Maybe if he do his PvP, he wouldn't have Nexus firsted. Probably not. I don't know a lot of people who would.
And AnEmortalKid has a proxy pylon right in front of the natural of Aeisgar, and we have a Stalker en route, as well as Warpgate nearly halfway done. Gonna probably chrono that when he has some, and just doing a 4-gate.
We don't even have a Cybernetics core for Aeisgar.
And this one Stalker with enough micro can win this game by himself.
Yeah, it could kill every probe if he takes care of it enough. And behind it, in less than a minute, we're going to see even more Stalkers from his 4-gate. Yeah, there's not a whole lot to defend this. I don't know what Aeisgar's response is going to be. There's not much he can do.
Well, he's made a Zealot, and I will probably see another one, because there's no Cybercore. Or is there Cybercore in the back? No Cybercore at all.
There's no Cybercore. He has gas. He has a lot of gas, but he did not build a Cybernetics core to spend that gas on.
And AnEmortalKid displaying some great micro, having that Zealot just run around and get shot at. And a Forge going down, feeling that he needs to get cannons in order to defend anything early. And
and I like that pound uphill. It gave him vision to shoot the Zealots. That's actually really cool.
And here comes his first warp in, Stalkers. And really overwhelming. GG, and AnEmortalKid takes this series in the UNM CSL Internal Tournament. I have been Menasaur. Thank you very much for watching, and join me as my new friend.
Theory SC2.
And thank you guys so much